It's not actually Christmas Eve when we're recording. We're not mental.
No.
We don't like it that much.
No, but it's less than a week to go.
Yeah, well, exactly. So it does feel like it's sort of coming in fairly quick. Hi, folks, and welcome back to the Meaningful Money podcast. It is session number 602, and it's Christmas Eve when this is coming out. So a very Merry Christmas to everybody, and to you, my dear friend, Mr. Ebenezer Weeks.
Oh, bah humbug, dear Peter. I don't know. I've been forced to work on Christmas Eve, and I got loads of ghosts home waiting to talk to me.
I wonder what they would say. Talk about your past and your present and your future.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure how they've amassed my past, but the future, I'm not sure what it holds now after this. I'm dressing up for podcasting.
Yeah, it is a lovely Christmas jumper.
Well, I did try hard. I sought everywhere.
And you had a bargain.
And I had a bargain. Vinted.
Look at they get you. Fantastic, because that's an M&S jumper, isn't it?
It's an M&S jumper, and it's brand new with labels. So, I wouldn't just go for any jumper.
Well, no, exactly. I would expect nothing less. So what are we talking about today then, bud?
Well, actually, we're going to reflect on 2025, and we've not actually done much prep for this. So
Very little.
It could be fun.
It could be fun, or it could be a sort of halting, unstructured mess. We'll just have to see. Let's hope that our ability and to riff sort of honed over decades of dealing with clients and thinking on our feet.
Should be easy.
Hopefully that'll stand by us. But remember, notes and links. There probably won't be any links today, let's face it. But if there are, they'll be at the show notes, which is the only link you need to remember. MeaningfulMoney.tv/session 602. Right, let's crack on. So I thought we could maybe talk about Meaningful Money first, of which you've been an integral part again this year.
Well, try.
Work, which obviously doesn't really apply to you.
No.
And then maybe just some personal stuff. Obviously going a little bit easy on ourselves at the end of the year. It's not actually Christmas Eve when we're recording. We're not mental.
No.
We don't like it that much.
No, but it's less than a week to go.
Yeah, well, exactly. So it does feel like it's sort of coming in fairly quick. So lots going on this year in Meaningful Money. One highlight for me is the release of Book 2, Meaningful Money Retirement Guide, which if you just cut to Rog, Kate, there it is. It's just there. Here, no, other side. There it is. That won't work on audio, will it? So that came out in May. The publishers are really happy. I'm actually still waiting for the first 6 months numbers.
Oh, you've not had the notice yet? No.
No, it's because I'm on a slightly different deal now. On the first one, I basically get the numbers like 8 o'clock in the morning at the end of the sort of 6 monthly window.
Oh, right, okay, yeah.
But with this one, they have to work it out a bit more manually, apparently. But I'm hoping that's better for me. But that's good, and it's gone down really, really well. It was a less enjoyable process writing that one than the first one. You remember I took sort of like 2 weeks and just wrote the first one in a sort of opium-fueled writing binge. Not really.
No. Just locked yourself away and just got your head down.
Put some music on and just got my head down, whereas this one was much more of a challenge. I had 2 extensions to the deadline. So, but, I actually ended up sort of pleased with the result, and it seems to have gone down really well, and, the audience have got behind it very much, and the reviews have been good. I was like, never again. I'm not writing another one, and yet already I'm thinking, I wonder if I might do something about it. Yeah,
but this one is a distillation of everything that happens when you're coming up to retirement and retiring, isn't it? So there's more meat to this one than actually the first one. The first one was more, how do you set yourself up to do things properly? And
yeah, it's more technical, I think. Yeah, for sure. But it was, it's done, and it's good to have it out in the wild. They've actually contracted me to update the first one.
Right.
So I've got to do that by end of May 2026. So that'll be interesting, actually, to sort of go back to that, because I haven't read it for a while, obviously. And it's, gosh, I wrote that in 2017. It came out in 2018.
Was it really?
Yeah.
That long ago?
So it needs an update now. Obviously, certain things change and the numbers will change, allowances and stuff like that. But that should be good. So that was definitely a highlight. You always have sort of big plans about launches and everything, and then it's not like this is my only job, right? So all the rest of the stuff kind of got in the way at Jackson's, which we'll come to in a bit. One big thing that's changed this year is the cameras are on.
It's doing this. The cameras are on, and this came as a bit of a surprise shock. Really, it's like, right, Roger, what we're going to do this year, we're going to actually film it and put it out live. Not live, but, but we're going to film you. It's like, okay. I don't mind hiding behind an audio track, but actually... Yeah,
people have been very kind and unsurprisingly glowing about how handsome you are. Yeah, whichever, they're only human.
Surprisingly, yeah.
Unsurprisingly, no. It's Actually, it's a different sort of discipline. I mean, we've got producer Kate in the room where you can't see, and so she's sort of making the cuts live, and then does a further edit afterwards, and then we've got Cal behind the scenes as well, sort of finishing things up, and it's kind of required us to be a bit more organised.
Yeah. I think it's come across nicely. I've actually gone in and watched a couple myself, but Sal, my son-in-law, he's watched them, and he says it's lovely to be able to see it happening. But he's loved the question and answer sessions. Because there's so many different things, but he said it comes across really, really well. And I think, like you say, it's just a bit of a different dynamic to actually watch us talking about it. Yeah, so just to listen. But
watchers taking the mick out of each other instead of just listening.
I think the frightening thing is I can call it up on my big television at home.
You can see yourself in twice life size.
Yeah, I'm watching myself on telly. It's really strange. But
well, you were born to do it. It's good. It's obviously it's going down really well. I think it's sort of a couple of thousand subscribers, I think, on the YouTube channel already. With less than a few than 10 videos on there. So it seems to be going down well. I just think it's almost too late to call it a trend now, but really sort of Joe Rogan and these guys made this sort of video podcaster thing, and I mean, like all the radio shows are videoed now.
Yeah.
So it just kind of makes sense. It's just it is sort of extra work, but I think it adds something to the mix as well.
Exactly.
Yeah, and it seems to be going down all right. And the Q&As, like you say, I mean, we've done I think 36 this year. I think number 36 went out last week, and that's actually a lot of work, but it's been, in many ways, it's kind of saved the podcast this year because I haven't put a lot of videos out. I think I've done 11 or 12 videos this year, whereas when I started, I was doing 3 a week.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's a long time ago now. But, mostly you kind of want to be weekly.
Yeah. I think the nice thing about doing the Q&As as well is that it's what people want to hear about, rather than saying, okay, we're doing a session this month on this subject.
Yeah.
If people are coming and saying, actually, I've got this little question, and as with everything, it's those questions that you think, I won't bother to ask that because it's specialist to me, but so many of the people are probably thinking exactly the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. We'll tell you what is a bit of a trend coming on the email responses we get. People are saying, I love the Q&A. What I do is I try and answer them myself first and see if I'm right.
Wow.
Of course, that assumes that we're right.
Yeah.
But, which I thought that was quite nice. So people almost sort of testing their own knowledge, which is cool. But it is good. It's definitely hitting a nerve. We're only answering questions from July, so we're sort of 6 months behind.
Yeah.
But, maybe we'll catch up. But we'll talk about what we're looking forward to in a minute. But one highlight, and I think one which is starting to bear fruit, but which will bear fruit massively in 2026, is taking on who we call producer Kate, but who is my youngest daughter, Kate, who is behind the camera and can't be seen, but she's listening to us now. I think it's funny because throughout the whole project, I've been doing Meaningful Money 15 years now. And throughout the whole project, you kind of get to the point where you hit a ceiling, and something needs to sort of take you through that and on to the next thing. And I remember when I first started working with Cal, the point was I could create content all day long, but I didn't have any energy left to get the word out. So I didn't do anything on the social media or anything just create the content and put it out. And hopefully the algorithm would pick it up and people would watch or listen. And so he helped me develop all kinds of things. It started with just social media messaging, but then, the digest is down to him. The academy is down to him, which has sort of changed the whole proposition, really. So taking on Kate, I think will take us to the next level, not just here, but she's actually technically employed by Jackson's.
Yes, so I hear.
So, she's also making us... The irony at Jackson's is that people come to Jackson's largely through Meaningful Money, and that's unusual. Obviously, most advice firms, it's sort of referrals and existing clients that send new clients to us. But for us, 85% of the business comes from Jackson's. 86, actually, I worked it out.
Wow.
Precisely. And, but once people become a client, it becomes a slightly more an ordinary journey for them. So an unusual journey for them to get to Jackson's, and then it just becomes a bit more ordinary. So we're really ramping up video content in Jackson's, internal stuff for the staff, what I call external, Jackson's external, in other words, to clients.
Yeah.
And Kate's doing great work on the social media stuff and boosting that both at Meaningful Money and at Jackson's. And, we've got something to look forward to, she and I, which we'll get to in a minute. So that was that. I'm still sort of coming off the back of Black Friday.
So Black Friday was only a week or so ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, from recording.
Yeah.
It's possibly might be the busiest 4 days of my life. And honestly, Nick Mitchell, who sort of works for Meaningful Money as well, he does so much. My God, if he leaves, Nick, you're never allowed to leave if you're listening to this. But like, he does so much fielding of emails, so much fielding of sort of customer support in the academy. But even with Nick working flat out, it felt like the busiest 4 days of my life. Queuing up the email messages, responding, asking, answering questions for people considering it, and all that sort of stuff. But it was a record sort of 4 days, and record number of people joining and making a difference to their finances. So it's exciting.
Well, it just shows that people want to take ownership over their own money.
Yeah,
it's so much we're not taught it at school. And then you fall into work, and you fall into earnings, and you fall into relationships and mortgages and stuff like that. And these things take place around you. Yeah. And I think it just shows that people want to have control because they got so little control of everything else in their lives. Really,
Well, that's right. It feels like it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It feels like the government's changing everything, and the economy's changing.
And the questions we get, the understanding that people have already got before they ask the questions.
Oh, we love that, though. We love that. And we find that at Jackson's. That's something that we frequently comment on. And we've hired quite a few new people at Jackson's this year, and they all have said the difference at Jackson's is that when people come to us, they are informed. So it's a properly collaborative, professionally challenging and interesting relationship, as opposed to like, I've just inherited some money, I don't know anything about it. Yeah. And they just hand everything to us. It's much more professionally interesting. Yeah. Sometimes you long for like something just really simple, but we actually tend to attract really, really complex, interesting work, which is a real blessing.
Well, if people are engaged far more, they'll listen to what you've got to say.
Yeah,
and they buy into it, so they're likely to stick as well.
Yeah, for sure. So you wrote this next one.
I wrote this next one, and it's one it's probably more recently actually because of the budget and stuff like that. And it's something that I've, as a result of 2025, is the need to block out the rumor mill. There's been so much stuff around at the minute, and we try to cut through that and say, look, forget that.
It's just noise.
It is just noise, and there's so much going on around us these days. We're on our phones all the time, and the news is on, and you hear about everything 24 hours a day. And I think it's just, if one of the things as a result of the Q&As and speaking to people and listening to what people are asking us is just cut out this rumor mill around the background. You can only act on what you know that is right. The budget is the biggest one.
Oh, yeah, that's got worse. I mean, like, massively worse the last couple of years. It felt like the 2024 one, the build-up was long enough, but because this one was so late, it felt like they were talking about it from August.
And they were teeing us up that, this might happen. And the thing that happened, I saw a lot through the Facebook page, is people saying, I'm going to take my tax-free cash now because they're going to take it away. It's like, oh, no, please don't. No,
exactly.
And it, I told you so comes out at the end, but
yeah, you don't want that either, do you, Brett?
No, it is difficult. So if one thing I've come across in 2025 through the Meaningful Money and what we've heard and people asking questions of us is, get rid of that rumor if you can.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's hard to drown out the noise, like you say. It's ever present, isn't it? It's in our devices, in our pockets, and on the headlines, and for those of us that still occasionally read a newspaper, it's just all over there. It's just everywhere, and it's hard to get away from it. And the algorithms just kind of reinforce it and double down. And you just think, oh my God, maybe this is true. Maybe I should do something. So obviously, the irony, of course, is in some sense we're adding to the noise. Yeah, but we are trying to be the antidote to it in some ways. Yeah.
We're just trying to do what we've seen in the past that's happened or has not happened, as it were. Say, look, we've come across occasions like this before. You hear so much stuff, just block it out for the time being.
Yeah, I mean, for how many years have they rumoured the loss of tax-free cash?
Since 2000 and...
It was at least 2006. That's when they changed the name of it.
Yeah.
That's when it became
pension commencement lump sum. It's like, they've taken the words tax-free cash away. Why have they done that? They're going to remove it.
Yeah, well, that was 20 years on. Yeah. They still haven't removed it. They have limited it, of course, and now that's capped as a monetary amount. Obviously, we'll get some fiscal drag on there and more people paying more tax. But interesting. But don't listen to the rumours. That's a good point of reflection. I think you wrote this one as well.
Only because I do dig into the Meaningful Money Facebook page now and again, and we see what's coming through online. it's like you don't feel you have to follow the crowd.
No.
One thing I've noticed on a lot of the posts is a lot of people are buying as part of their cash flow ladder. They're buying gilts.
Are they direct?
Yeah, it's like, oh, I'm going to buy the gilt ladder for the next 5 years, and they'll mature at different times and stuff like that. And I've been in this business for lots of years now, and I've got my pension as a SIP and stuff like that. I've got my own funds. It's like I've got no interest in that whatsoever.
No,
I buy 2 or 3 funds, and I've done with it. So, what I would say to listeners and viewers now, actually, obviously the audience, is that you do what you need to do. Just because someone else is buying gilts and stuff like that, just do what you feel is right, because a lot of people can't be bothered with the work.
Yeah, no, for sure.
No, I can't be bothered with it. I want to enjoy my life and have the money sitting in the background.
Yeah. If you get a kick out of choosing gilts, what did that come from? It's a weird slip. If you get a kick out of choosing gilts, then fill your boots. If that's what you want to do. But yeah, it's a sort of not a flip side, but a corollary to the rumor mill thing. And it's just like it's doing things because other people say so.
Yes.
That's not right. It's why we generally ban the word should.
Yeah.
It's like there is no should about it. There's plenty of ways you can achieve what you want to achieve. You've got to find the one that works for you.
Yeah, but obviously do what you feel is right.
Yeah.
But take it to the line you're happy to stop at.
Yeah.
You haven't got to go past that point.
No, and hold it lightly because you might change. Your views might change, the world might change, your level of interest in it might change. So yeah, good and some interesting reflections there. What about looking forward to then? Well, one of the things that I want to sort of highlight, which is going to be starting early in the new year. We will very shortly be recording the first few episodes. Is a project that we're calling Bank of Dad. So we've, I think, perhaps teased it. We've mentioned
I think
it
you
before,
have.
I think, a couple of times. So this is going to be Kate and I. We've talked about it for about 2 years, haven't we, Kate? I think. So, and the idea is that really it's to teach the lessons that young people are just not taught. That really you and I weren't taught formally.
No, not at all.
I had zero financial education from my family. You, I think, were better taught than I was.
Yeah, only because Mum was careful with the money and she kept an eye on it. And I budgeted with my pocket money and my first weekend job stuff.
Just
like
wired that way. Yeah. Whereas I wasn't, and we're just not taught anything formally. At school, at college, or even early in the workplace or anything like that. That is changing sort of glacially, slowly. But I think the truth is, much as I hate to admit it, is that young people probably not going to listen to me. Increasingly, the audience here looks like us. That's the issue.
Probably. Yeah.
So with Kate kind of fronting that, and me, the sort of apparently the font of all wisdom in the corner.
Oh yes, obviously.
And she and I have a great relationship, and we'll have a good fun sort of chatting some stuff through and just explaining the basics, really, but hopefully in a way which is accessible and a lot of fun. So that's going to be starting in the new year. So that's a whole new YouTube channel, whole new podcast. So it's going to be fun.
Well, you do it in spare time.
Yeah. Yeah, there is that problem.
Yeah.
Well, that's part of why Kate's here, so that I just rock up and spout marvelous, wisdomous words.
Oh, she'll write the script and you just say, yeah, I agree with that, Kate.
Something like that. Yeah, truth. Okay, also, actually, I'm going to hand to you because I think the last one of these you put in.
Yeah, this is something that jumped out at me as a way forward, really, and it's to convince our audience to try and simplify as much as possible. You get loads of these questions, and they're very intense, and we love the challenge of trying to answer the darn things. But one of the things I've taught myself to do is try to simplify it as much as possible. And we're going to talk about that when we come to our next podcast, I think, on risk and stuff like that. Is your decisions you're making, all the morass of paperwork and numbers, everything in the background is just like try to make it simple. The money has got to provide for you. You've not got to let it rule your life, really. So you're in charge of the money and how you deal with it. But simplification has got to be the best way forward.
Yes. Yes. Definitely.
It's one of the things I've done. I'm not worried about my pension because it sits in the background. It's set up properly. I take as few decisions on it as I can.
Yeah.
There will be points like, next year when my Jackson's money stops from my buyout, I'm then going to have to dig into my pension and shred the gap between then and state pension.
Yeah.
So there will be some decisions to be made, but I'm putting those off until I need to worry about it. So, if nothing else, from all the questions that come in to people, there are lots of very intense questions from lots of intense people. And if that's your bag, by all means, go ahead with it. But try to keep it simple if you can.
It's good for the soul,
Yeah.
simplification. It really is. Here, we want to... I've kind of written it down as a more joined up approach to content. So this has been a weird year for various reasons, mostly Jackson's related, which I'll get to in a minute. But, like I said, we've carried on the podcast and kept that up pretty well because it's mostly been Q&A, so it doesn't take that much prep. We're looking to expand that a little bit. And again, funny how things go in kind of seasons, isn't it? So for the first 160-odd episodes of the podcast, they were standalone shows. And then for years, it was season-based. You joined, still season-based. So we'd take a run at a subject over 10 or 12 weeks and then, really sort of go deep on it. And then, but that takes a lot of prep, lots of work to prepare that stuff and sort of think ahead. And a number of times I was creating episodes about 20 minutes before we were starting. Going to record them, to put them out the next day, cutting it out a little bit fine. So a bit more sort of joined up, and we're going to just mix the Q&A shows with sort of one-off, fairly deep dives. So next week or week after, one of the first ones of those in the new year is going to be a deep dive on risk. So looking forward to recording that in about 20 minutes.
Yes.
So that'll be good. But just, to think that through and link it maybe to the video as well. So that's exciting. Part of Kate's remit is to work with Cal and I on sort of joining all that up. And lots to come on that, including some updates to the Academy as well, some of which are long overdue. Managed to update one particular module before the Black Friday sale, but there's some updates that I need to do, so that's a real priority. Hoping to do one actually before Christmas on that, so we'll see. But that's just a lot more content, like you say, in all the spare time that we've got. But the thing is, the content is increasingly important to lots of other aspects, particularly to Jackson's. And to the development of Meaningful Money as well, and to its sort of broadening as a media company, really. So it's not just about this show and not just about the videos, but in due course, Bank of Dad and other projects that we're working on. So it's exciting. Cool. So that's Meaningful Money. So what about work? Well, you've been retired nearly 5 years, 4.5 years. So
that's shocking, really.
You wouldn't know. How's retirement been this last year, Roger?
Yeah, it's been nice and calm and easy, really. Yeah.
Perhaps we'll get back to that in a minute.
Yeah.
I mean, for me at Jackson's, 2025 has been a really challenging year. So, I mean, in many ways, a good year. Do you know what I mean? But I mean, part of it was we lost an advisor in March, which of course is the worst possible time to lose an advisor. So it's tax year end. We always knew he would go on his own at some point. He'd been self-employed for sort of 20 years prior to coming into the industry. So I always knew he would go on his own. There's never going to be a good time to lose him. An excellent advisor. So he left, but at the same time, we had one of our senior advisors on mat leave.
Yes.
So suddenly we were 2 advisors down, and I had to kind of helicopter in and pick up a load of work, which was difficult. And I think it just sort of threw into relief, really, that we were under-resourced, with crazy growth. So that's good, and as you grow, you sort of realize that you're kind of finding stuff out. You're finding your feet. You don't really know what you're doing. You just sort of take it as you go and really try and work things out as you go. But while it's been a challenging year, it's also been a record year. I mean, we're nearly 30% up in revenue terms.
Which is absolutely crazy, isn't it, really?
I was chatting to somebody the other day. I was on a podcast with a guy called Chris Ball, who's the CEO of Hoxton Wealth. I mean, Hoxton, they're like a multinational advice firm growing. I mean, next level growth. It's just taking over the world, really. So I was on his podcast, and he was very kind because they acquire as well. So they acquire businesses. Okay. And he was saying, look, the businesses that we look to acquire are growing at maybe, normally growing at maybe 3 to 5% a year. So if we get a company that's growing at double digits, that's really like, oof, okay, what's going on here? But really, if you're growing at nearly 30%, the words he used actually was, that's rock star growth. I would probably challenge that because I'm too tired to be a rock star.
Well, I don't know.
Well, that was the original intention when I was at university. I was going to be a rock star. Yeah. Didn't happen.
Well, you are in a different vein. That's all it is.
Yeah.
It's not a musical one.
So, it's been a record year, revenue-wise, record year, profit-wise. We're all tired. We've all worked very hard. But we have, worked 4-day week throughout. and we've taken on 5 new team members. We've got 2 more already lined up to start in January and February. So, the growth continues, and we're just trying to sort of stay ahead of it and grow, hopefully organically and in a measured way that is sustainable. So lots of stuff going on at Jackson's. Kate coming on to help us with comms and marketing. We've elevated 3 of the guys to a leadership team. So there's now Sharon, my practice manager, and me, and Paul, Tom, and Demi. So they're, we can hand some stuff to them and give them some more responsibilities. We build a sort of, leadership team. So it's exciting. What's going on?
Well, I actually had a friend who came to the office the other day to type some paperwork. Lost a member of the family, needed to do some paperwork for death claim and stuff like that. And she said, "Cool, those offices are mightily impressive, aren't they?"
Oh, good.
Yeah. So, and the feel of the place. Yeah. Whenever I walk in, although I'm retired now, I do walk in and say hello to the staff now and again. And some of them I work with, and some I didn't. But even the ones I didn't work with, they're all really friendly and approachable. And it just, despite the fact you're doing a 4-day week and you get 30% up on your growth and profits and stuff like that, it seems like a calm space, for what is really, really busy.
Right? Yeah. Go, that's good. I remember I had a client come in once and say, this is, it's sort of focused, sort of focused productivity or something. That was the vibe they got, something like that. And it was like, that's nice. That's kind of what you want. You want people with their head down. We do have fun. But good. I'm glad that's the vibe they got.
Yeah. It's just like, obviously, because I knew from the outside how busy you were. But actually, for someone to come in and say, actually, it just felt nice and calm. She felt that the place was in control and that she was being dealt with properly. So
good. Well, that's important.
Yeah,
good. I think probably next year we'll have steadier growth. I think the 30% rise this year is down to a lot of work we've done over the last 2 or 3 years,
right?
Simplifying and consolidating client assets and all that sort of stuff. So I think we've done a lot of good work, which has led to this. I think it will be a little bit more, and obviously markets, because quite a chunk of our revenue is linked to the value of client assets. So, markets have been very healthy as well. Yeah. So, that certainly helps. So I think it'll be a lot lower, but I still think we'll be comfortably double-digit growth next year. That's certainly what we're planning for, sort of 10 to 12% growth next year in terms of revenue. So it's good. It's exciting. Yeah. But as we grow, the thing that's become evident, the thing that sort of now is not keeping me awake at night, but has become the sort of main priority really, is that as you grow, particularly if you're growing quickly, the biggest challenge is maintaining 2 things. Firstly, culture, so sort of keeping who you are as a company, what makes you you, the stuff we think is important and how we deal with each other and with clients, all that sort of stuff. Maintaining culture and maintaining standards. Yeah. Because, it's easy for things to slip or get missed if you're too busy. And the example I've used with the team quite a bit is, look, there is a reason why McDonald's don't poison hundreds of thousands of people every day. Is because if you follow the system, you can't poison somebody. Yeah. The burgers will always be cooked properly. The chicken will always be cooked. As long as you follow, as long as the grills are at the right temperature, as long as you cook for the right amount of time, it's where you go off those standards, that's when things get, dangerous potentially and literally lethal if they were killing loads of people with E. coli. Yeah. So obviously it's not life or death in our situation, but we are responsible for people's life savings. It's a massive responsibility.
It's a huge responsibility. I think the measure of that is the staff you have, we have back in the day, and you have now taken on board. You're very careful as to who you bring on board. That they got the right ethos behind them, and they got the right thought process as to this is the way the Jacksons do it. Yeah, and you've got to fit in with that. And you may get someone who's technically brilliant but may not fit in. They wouldn't come in. So you've been very careful as to who you've hired. So that's
we learned a lot of lessons on the way on that as well. So it's it's good. I mean, we're excited about the future and looking forward to the break before we hit the ground running in January. But it's actually a bit of a milestone for you this coming year.
Yeah. So what I'm looking forward to is dear audience, is my buyout payments cease this June.
So we agreed a 5-year thing for you?
We agreed a 5-year buyout for me when I left the company, which has worked really, really well. Yeah. But I can't believe we're within 6 months of that finishing. So it's got to the point that I'm after Christmas, I get the Christmas break gone, and I'm going to sit down and look at my budget and just do everything we've said. What money do I need? where's that going to come from and where's the best place?
Yeah, great.
So there is, my buyout payments, they've been really good for the last 4.5 years, and there's another 6 months to go. Yep. So I'm going to enjoy them for another 6 months. And then they stop. And then my work, a few decisions have to be made then.
Well, we can always set up a GoFundMe so that you can upgrade from economy to business next time you go to Tenerife. I'm sure the audience will chip in.
No, I'll be fine. But it's just like, what are you looking forward to? And it's like, my payment season June. So it's good for the company because they're no longer be paying me. So that'll help your cash flow. But it just means my life will change very, very slightly. But, things are in place. You can imagine I've got things in place already in the right way.
We can imagine that, listeners, can't we?
But it should be fine. But there's going to be a bit of a step change.
Yeah, it is a big thing, really. I'm like you. I just can't believe that's gone as fast as it has. Which means I'll probably be retired in another 5 years at this pace. It'll feel like it. It's incredible, really. Well,
and like you say, you've lost some members of staff. Well, one of them, you lost me 4.5 years ago, and you lost Chaz 12 months ago.
Yeah.
As two directors out of 4, so it's that's quite a bit. So you need the management structure underneath you now. Like you said, you brought the 3 people in to help through that process. Really,
we can't do it all. It's good. That really has come around quick. Cool. So some personal stuff. Do you want to go first on this?
Yeah,
personal reflections.
The personal reflection. This is one thing that happened to me. Really, is that life will probably throw you a curveball at some point. We plan as much as we can to have a nice, easy time, and it'll happen when you potentially least expect it to happen. 15th of December, 2024, so just over 12 months ago, we had a flood. We'd been decorating the house, we'd done the lounge and the hallway, and the place was lovely, and we sorted it out, and the decorations were down, everything happy-harry, and then we had this flood.
Yeah.
And it threw everything upside down, really.
It really did.
So we were then living in our bedroom, in the spare bedroom, while the place was sorted out. So just linking it to what would happen, so that's what happened to me personally.
Yeah.
And you can link that into anything you've got in your life, really, is that, you may set your plans up perfectly, but something will probably come along at some point. Hopefully it won't.
Yeah, the universe has other ideas.
But and that was the start of a really weird year for us. So for, December to June, we were living in a spare bedroom, really, and that got sorted. And we thought, well, we will have the kitchen done 2026. And the builder came along and said, "Oh, I can't do it 26. I'll have to do it in 25." So in September, we started cooking in that same bedroom we'd lived in for 6 months.
Yeah.
But that's now finished. So we've now got the house the way it is, and there are things that need doing in the house. I'm not touching it for 12 months.
No, it has been quite a year.
Yeah, it has. Yeah.
Upheaval and sort of stuff everywhere. And it's amazing that sort of impacts life, isn't it? Joe and I came around and sort of saw the new kitchen, and it's just so nice for you to have it done, and you can relax and enjoy it a bit now, because it feels like it's been a project for months, and it feels like you've had upheaval for months.
Yeah, and I think the other thing is how flexible you have to be. Something will come along like that. It's like, well, okay, it's not. I remember when we had the flood, it was one evening when we had Jen's brother and his boyfriend, Andrew and Mandy, came around for a meal, and this thing happened. And so we suddenly realised partway through the evening there's water in our bedroom and our ensuite. Went through and mopped it up with towels and stuff like that, and then came back to the dining room, carried on eating. And Andrew said, "I can't believe how calm you are." It's like, well, it's happened. I can't change what's happened.
No.
We sorted the problem that we needed to immediately.
Yeah.
Let's get on what we're doing now, and we can deal with it properly tomorrow. So I think I've learned from that as well. And with the builder, we need to be flexible as to what we're happy to do to make our life at least enjoyable whilst that's all happening, really.
Yeah, for sure.
So you've had a bigger...
Well, yeah, it's funny, isn't it? So I lost my mum this year, so that was in September. I think we've probably sort of mentioned that before. Now, she'd been poorly for sort of nearly 3 years prior to her dying. So she had very, very slow-growing pancreatic cancer. But when it did, have a bit of a surge, it was pushing on her sort of gastro system. So she had a stent in her bile duct a couple of years ago, and then she sort of bounced back a bit from that, but never fully. And then, she started being sick again, all that sort of stuff. And eventually it turned out she had a stent in her duodenum, so the bottom of the stomach there. And obviously this thing was sort of slowly killing her. Yeah. That's what cancer does so often. But she then, so she had that stent in February. And then in April, what she found was that she just couldn't abide the thought of eating. The whole thought of it going down into the system and getting blocked and her bringing it back up, it's just pretty horrific. And so, in consultation with the medics and stuff, she basically said, well, I'm not going to get better. So rather than put myself through the misery of trying to maintain, some kind of eating pattern, I'll just eat when I feel like it.
Yeah.
And then she didn't eat again for 173 days.
Yeah, which I find completely amazing.
You can't imagine the human system can cope with that for as long. So obviously her body weight went through the floor. She was less than 6 stone when she died. But throughout it all, except really for the last 18 hours, she was lucid, she was happy, full of faith. That was both her name and her sort of defining sort of characteristic, full of her Christian faith. And, so very much at peace with the idea of dying. And it's a great thing. We're so blessed, because we had like months when you have all the conversations and, that she'd said what she wanted to say to all the kids and to the in-laws and to the grandkids, all that sort of stuff. So in many ways, it was a really sort of good version of a crappy outcome.
Yeah.
But of course, the end result is that we lost her at the end of September. And for me, my sort of overwhelming response was kind of apathy. I didn't want to do anything. It was really weird. Just the sort of, I can't be bothered doing anything. I don't want to go to the gym. I don't want to do any work. I just want to sit and kind of vegetate, which obviously is not an option. Life goes on. But obviously, having an amazing team at Jackson's and help with Meaningful Money as well meant that a lot did sort of continue. And, I didn't drop the ball too much or anything like that. But it's, it's just weird. And obviously, it's much more weird for my dad, who's, sort of, they declared their love for each other when he was 13 and Mum was 12.
Amazing. Yeah.
So, and Mum was 83 when she died. So it's an amazing story, huge change for my dad, but he's doing really well. So we got a lot to be sort of grateful for, really. But that was definitely the big personal thing for me this year. But just the joy of having a great team around you, lovely family who can support you throughout. We're very blessed, really. Yeah. And it all. So I asked you to come up maybe like a key lesson.
Oh, my goodness me. Yeah, I was racking my brains for this, really. And I think having gone through the flood, that's neither here or there, but having finally ticking the box for having this kitchen done, it's brought me to around in the complete circle. So I was being very cautious when it came to the money, and I've
noticed that change in you.
Yeah, and what I'd say to the audience really is the need for and the power of changing your mindset or your financial mindset in retirement. We spend years and years accumulating and putting money aside and being careful, and I'm going to look after this, and I'm not going to spend the money. And yeah, this kitchen has cost a lot of money. Mm-hmm. Don't get me wrong, because we've had a lot of rebuilding work. We had ceilings down and walls taken down and rooms switched. So the kitchen is the dining room is the kitchen. So services have moved and stuff like that, and we've lived upside down. But actually, the money's a byproduct of the whole thing, And so having spent the money, we walk into the kitchen now, and it's just a joy.
Yeah.
So, and I'm thinking that way with the rest of my life going forward. Is I need now to start to spend the money that I've amassed over the time, because you don't know how long you've got.
No, for sure.
And you do not necessarily do without, because I've not done without. We've done things, but we've been careful with our money. But it gets to the point in time when you've got to start to use it. And I'm not. With the best will of my family, I'm not leaving it for the children. It's there for me. They need to set their own life, really. Yeah. I'll leave what I can to them. Clearly, there'll be a couple of pennies left at the far end, probably.
Just enough to raise a glass to you.
Yeah, exactly. But I think just changing your mindset when you get to retirement is like, this isn't a practice. This is all you get.
Yeah.
And I've really enjoyed spending that money.
I'm so glad.
Which is really strange for me to say so,
It is. But I mean, I've enjoyed seeing that change in you, because it's still you, right? You're not going to start spanking money on a load of stuff that you don't need.
No.
You're going to spend it wisely and well. But you have, for a lot of years, you've sort of put stuff off, and I've been like, go on, Rog, do it.
Yeah.
So I'm like the little devil on your shoulder. I don't know who the angel is on the other one, but, it's like, come on. But it's good, because, it is still you, but it's lovely to see that that you're really enjoying the benefits of it, because it was so cool to sit in the new kitchen with you and just have a coffee and see the fruits of that. But I mean, we spend our time telling listeners and clients, you've got this money for using, right?
The money's there for a reason. It's you're not hoarding it just for the sake of hoarding it.
No.
And I think that as well, when you get to retirement, is that we hear so many people say, well, if I had a fund of X £1,000, if I took 5% a year, what does that sound like? Yeah, but okay, but if it grew at 5% a year and you drew 5% a year, you still can leave the whole balance.
Yeah, exactly.
So you can eat some of your capital, So don't think of it as just something you've got behind you. It's there to provide for you, and I need to make sure it provides for me well.
Yeah, absolutely right. It's good. It's just such a big deal, that mindset change.
Yeah, it is.
It's important, and people get to it at different times.
Well, it's taken me 4.5 years for retirement to get around that, really.
Yeah, but that's good. All right, better late than never. You might have a fancy new wine fridge, but you did get your Christmas jumper off Vinted.
Yeah,
so it's still you.
Well, and other supermarkets are available, but I did join the Tesco Club Card Plus, so you get 2 shops and 10% off over Christmas.
Good, life-changing stuff. Yeah, you heard it here first.
Yeah.
So my sort of lesson learned is, if you're not growing, you're dying. That's kind of how I've put it. So, obviously Jackson's has grown like gangbusters. We had an amazing Black Friday, and Meaningful Money's grown throughout the year as well. And that is kind of optional. We could just put the brakes on. We could say, right, we're not taking any new clients at Jackson's. We're going to essentially shut the door to new clients. But I feel like if we did that, you're kind of choosing not to move forward. And it's like, okay, if the universe is going to, send this fire hose of new inquiries to Jackson's, then we need to try and help as many people as we can. And that's certainly part of the driving force and the sort of North Star that keeps us going. But I feel like it's certainly not just financial growth. That sort of is what it is. It doesn't sort of interest me or excite me that much. But it's the fact that if you are going to grow, certainly as a company, if you're going to grow financially, then there's other stuff you got to kind of make sure is growing as well. So things like, building the leadership team, things like focusing on culture and standards and process and all that sort of stuff. These are the ways that you grow carefully and intentionally, as opposed to just letting it run away from you. And I think and the sort of personal corollary to that is, most adults don't grow after sort of early adulthood. So they don't develop their ability to sort of critically think. They don't develop their ability to put themselves into uncomfortable positions, to challenge themselves. We generally get comfortable quite early. Yeah. And we take whatever we've learned to believe as children and as young adults or whatever, and that kind of gets cemented. And I think in an increasingly polarized world, what will make the difference is that whatever we believe, however we choose to live, that we hold all of that quite lightly and be prepared to be challenged where necessary, and even more so to pursue challenge. My model for this is my own dad, who he's a Bible scholar, right? But was raised, as was I, in a sort of evangelical tradition, which, let's not mince words, many parts of that tradition are sort of homophobic, transphobic, bigoted in so many ways. My dad has always sort of stood up against that sort of stuff, and has himself changed his views on so many things, but done so in a considered and intentional way. He's always reading books that he thinks he's not going to agree with. Yeah. But he does it because, I read stuff about active fund management just because I think it's important that I don't get entrenched in my view. I've yet to find anything to convince me of the merits of it, but I think it's important that I do that, because otherwise, how do I know that I'm right still? Yeah, I may not be right, and even my rightness may change in the future because something else may be righter. Yeah,
but that's the problem with going onto social media, because you tend to go into the echo chambers of the people that agree with you. Yeah. So you need to listen to those. I mean, I remember when I was back working, and we were saying it's so busy. Wouldn't it be nice to have a quiet year and just take it easy and just close the doors on new business? But it didn't seem to make sense, because you and I and Chaz and Mike, we weren't built just to bring money through the door. It's all about helping people. Yeah, and that's now migrated to me being with you on Meaningful Money. It's like, actually, we're helping people do their own thing. So it'd be easy for me to say, sorry, Pete, I'd rather just sit at home doing nothing all the time. But I'm enjoying the challenge of going through this, and we're built. we're built to help people. I think that's the way it is. And if we can carry on doing that, why would you not do so? You know, and it's like I listen to non-fiction books or biographies and stuff like that. Yeah. People I wouldn't necessarily have listened to. It's like, well, actually, that's a fascinating stories of what people have gone through. You know?
Yeah, so, no, it's good. So those are our lessons learned for what they're worth.
It's a whole 2025.
Yeah,
compacted down.
So just a few quick votes of thanks. So firstly to the Meaningful Money team. So that's my great friend and right-hand man, Cal, over in Bulgaria, without whom pretty much none of this would happen. So thanks, Cal, who's had a baby this year as well.
Oh, really?
His wife.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
So it's, he's been just an absolute sort of rock throughout. Nick Mitchell, who just works like a Trojan, has... understands more about Voyant than I think any of us in the Jacksons team, and just answers all the emails and all sort of stuff that come in from the Academy and from the audience. Producer Kate, who's kind of new but already making a big difference, and we look forward to much more of that next year. The wonderful volunteer mods in the Meaningful Money Facebook group, which is approaching 25,000 people in that group now.
Wow.
It's unbelievable. So Ruth, Nick, and Susie, thank you so much for everything that you guys do in there. All of whom tell me they really enjoy it, which is amazing. So thank you to that. Obviously, a massive thanks to everybody listening and watching, the incredible Meaningful Money audience, all the votes of thanks and the encouragement that you send us every day on email and on comments and stuff. It's really cool. It keeps us going. Definitely gives us a shot in the arm, doesn't it?
And hearing the stories of people that have taken ownership and responsibility of their lives, and it's changed them around.
Yeah, it's amazing. That
really
definitely
good.
Keeps us going. Obviously, a huge thanks to the team at Jackson's who released me to do this still crazy, weird sideline project, as important as it is to the Jackson's ecosystem now. But thanks to Sharon and Paul, Tom, and Demi, and all the team at Jackson's who are just amazing. Family and friends. It's just we're very blessed, aren't we, mate?
Yeah, we are. Yeah, it's a lovely life at the minute. I mean, I'm loving doing this, and actually,
I'm glad.
I'm ignoring the cameras. I know they're there in the background, but if we're just podcasting, just chatting, the two of us.
Well, you and I
there might be a few people listening.
Yeah, we should, for old time's sake, do one in a jacuzzi.
I'm not sure people want to see that.
No, probably not. You'll have to make sure the bubbles get going. So a busy year.
I'm sure we can do that.
A busy year, right?
Yeah, it has been. Yeah.
But you made a comment here, I think. Actually,
I just think that once again, the vast majority of people, with a little bit of encouragement from us, are able to make substantial improvements to their financial future by taking their first intentional steps right now. It doesn't take a lot. You haven't got to go from, I don't know, I haven't got an emergency fund, but I want to start choosing some gilts. It's like, let's get an emergency fund in place. Do the first steps first.
Yep.
And move on to other ones if you want to, but it doesn't take a lot.
Nope, really doesn't.
It just this slight switch in your head, say, right, I need to do something.
Yeah,
and you need to do it now.
Yeah, crack on. Yeah, exciting. So well done for everybody that's taken action and improved their lives this year. So what are we starting 2026 with?
It's going to be a Q&A to begin with.
Yeah, good.
On the 7th of January, so let's ease us in slightly. And then the week after that, we've got a belter of an episode.
Deep dive.
I've been reading it already, and worried. And it's about risk. The completely misunderstood word risk.
Really
what is the risk? Is it just one, or is there several? So
spoiler alert.
We're going to be diving into that one. But we haven't dealt with it for ages. And
it keeps coming up, doesn't it, in the Q&As?
Yeah, it does.
So it makes sense to do that. So that I think is on the 14th of January. So lots of good stuff to come. But that's it for this session. Just me and Rog chewing the fat, two mates. Very grateful for everything that we've been blessed with, and particularly for you guys. So thank you for listening and watching. There were absolutely no notes or any links, so you can go to the show notes if you want, which is meaningfulmoney.tv/session602, but there'll be nothing on there for you to click on. so probably don't do that. But we hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for listening. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
We'll talk to you next time.